What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We finna talk week 2 NFL picks and of course recap Thursday night football where we saw the Eagles win 34-28 against the Vikings in Philadelphia. As always, go down, like and subscribe, comment your picks, your bets, and your thoughts on Thursday night football. I'm one half of your host. I'm Paul Pick'em Win'em Concha, the betting gambler himself, and I'm joined with
And you already know it's your boy Cap Waterboy Savoy, aka the Don PYE. And I'm over here sipping on that brisk right now. Pepsi sponsors. I'm over here sipping on that brisk right now. You know how that go.
I got the Natty Ice. But man, Thursday night football was fun. We thought primetime Kirk was gonna stink it up, but if anything, primetime Kirk. We had a funny convo about how is primetime Kirk 4 PF or not.
Yeah.
I was saying he wasn't, but I mean, 4 touchdowns sounds pretty 4 PF to me. 350 yards.
Fun fact: Kirk Cousins is actually 3-0 in his last three Thursday night games. I was like, oh, I would have never known that.
Another fun fact: the Vikings are 45 years in a row where they've lost a primetime road game. They have not won a primetime road game in 45 years, and the curse will continue.
That's crazy. But no, it was a pretty good game. I was actually thinking that well, before anything, this game was so disrespectful to my fantasy kid. But tell me how I had Justin Jefferson, right? You know I got Justin Jefferson, number 2 pick. Dude, I'm playing is the I want to say he's one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. I think he won it last year. Dude, I'm playing had TJ Hawkinson. So I'm over here watching Justin Jefferson eat, killing his ass, killing his ass. I go check fantasy. TJ Hawkinson is over here taking all the touchdowns.
Yeah, but if anyone followed the prop bets I gave out for the game and then saw the post, I had a plus 1,000 bet. TJ Hawkinson scored a touchdown and Dallas Goedert scored a touchdown plus 1,000. TJ showed up and did his thing, and Goddard had fucking 11 targets, 6 catches for like 22 yards. Like he went,
That's insane.
yeah, 11 targets for 22 yards, no touchdowns. And then TJ got the second. I'm sitting there like, damn, maybe I should have did TJ times 2 and say fuck Goddard. But I mean, it
You
was
would
a fun ride. It was a fun ride.
have went crazy, but you did get that first touchdown early, so I know you was waiting on it. But them boys is only running them bitches in or hitting the Devontae Smith over the top. And Devontae Smith is coming on his own right now. He's in a different bag.
People, big Eagles fans I know, they're talking about how the team, because AJ Brown was the guy for the first half, but they're saying if you've looked at the stats from week 10 onwards, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown had the same amount of targets, and Devontae Smith did more with the targets. He had more catches, he had more yards, more like yard per catch. And they were just saying like maybe like people were trying to put AJ Brown as numero uno automatic, like solidified. There's no question about it. And it's like as so far 2 weeks into the season, like Devontae Smith is definitely looking like Jalen Hurts' like favorite guy right now.
Yeah, that's facts. But I also gotta respect I feel like the defense is key into AJ Brown a little bit more because AJ Brown's always been just a strong athletic monster to me. So I think the defense is my key in on him a little bit more. So as the number one, so him and Devontae Smith having the same amount of targets means something. And Devontae Smith is a crazy nice deep threat, which AJ Brown is also a good deep threat. So it goes back and forth. I think it's about to start turning into a 1A and 1B conversation over there in Philly. And like it really doesn't matter who's who. I think they're still gonna eat regardless, and we figure out how to share the ball. But speaking of sharing the fucking ball, that's exactly what Kirk Cousins did. Kirk Cousins threw a touchdown to T.J. Hawkinson, K.J. Osborne, and Addison.
Jordan Addison, who
That shit
definitely
was
covered
nice.
my over 39 yards that I gave out.
That shit was nice. That shit was nice. I'm fucking with Addison. But it was a good game. I think the Eagles, I think those fumbles in that first half by the Vikings was terrible. I'm shocked the Eagles didn't capitalize more on it. But this game was interesting. Were we right? We were right.
Yeah, we both took the Eagles on this one.
Nice. But yeah, it was a barn burner. What do you think about that Justin Jefferson touchdown when he was trying to? Well, they touched Justin Jefferson at the one when he tried to put his over he fumbled into the end zone type shit.
So they were saying that some of the big accounts were saying that like maybe we should start overturning this rule where if someone fumbles the ball and it goes into the end zone, that the other team automatically will get the ball on the 25 type shit. Like they're saying maybe I don't know how you rework it, but they just want to rework that rule because that exact scenario with the Justin Jefferson thing. I mean, I don't really have too much for it. I mean, like, and like those are those maker like those. It's like whatever's ruled on the field. It's kind of hard to overturn it because when you go to slow mo, everything is so like split second that is like you're not going to overturn that because you got to have the evidence to overturn something. You know what I mean? So like I don't know. I just feel like it's just something that's always gonna be part of the game, but I don't really had any thoughts on it.
I I didn't know. I thought he didn't get the touchdown. I didn't think he got it. But I think that rule should be something they look at because that is pretty wild. Because see, nobody's gonna say nothing because it's week 2. But imagine that happened in last minute of playoffs. Like they gon' you see what they did for Josh Allen and who was actually 0-5 since they changed that rule. But you seen that like that's gonna come down in a very important time, and everybody's gonna be like, this is fucking bullshit. That doesn't even make no sense. And he's gonna be like, well, I guess that doesn't make no sense. If it went out of bounds, then like fuck it, it's down at the 1.
Yeah, or you maybe even like give it to them on the 20, like type shit. Not on like it all the way back there 20, but like
Nah,
start of the
because
red zone.
yeah, but you never know where they were before that. Because think if they was on the like they was on the 5 and that
That's
happens.
true.
And then yeah, I just think it should be down at the 1 to just be considered, especially if nobody touches it, nobody covers it. It's down at the 1. Me personally, because that's where he fumbled it at the 1.
Yeah. No, that I agree that should be looked at. I just don't have the exact answer for me to like really make an opinion on it just yet.
But I have nothing but respect for refs that because that was a tough play to call. Like I couldn't imagine calling that play in real time and then seeing replay and be like, yeah, this shit stinks. Like
Yeah. And I mean, Vikings so far 0-2 in one possession games. Last year they were 11-0 in one possession games. The year before they were about 500 in one possession games. And this is a continuous trend with the Vikings where like their defense just lets up so much points, and they had moments where they looked good. I mean, the interception where Hurts just threw that bitch into triple coverage and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" That was an
yeah,
easy.
that shit was wild.
But then outside, and they were getting pressure on Hurts. They were keeping Hurts contained. Like they were doing things good, but then they always would let up big plays for like usually the Devontae Smith in this game or DeAndre Swift. Like they couldn't stop the run at all. They kind of reminded me right now of the Chargers of last year, where the offense is. We have no problem with the offense. That's not the issue here. It's this fucking defense that's gonna cost you game after game.
Mm. But before we go into the slate, what the fuck was Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown beefing about? I know it wasn't nothing, no big deal. It's probably like in the heat of the moment. But did you hear anything about that?
No one's, it's a tight locker room. They're not going to say nothing. But from body language and the moment of the games and this, arms moving type shit, people were speculating. It looked like AJ Brown wanted more targets and again, like get the ball more. Meanwhile, it wasn't a good look because they were up by a pretty good amount, and like the run game was working with Swift, and Devontae Smith was breaking big 60-yard catches. Like, like I never see Tyreek Hill doing that if Waddle's having a big game. That's my
Mm.
thought on it, type shit. It just wasn't a really good look for a Super Bowl team where it's like we're all supposed to be a team here. Like we don't give a fuck if you get your 100 yards or not. That should be everyone's mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Like Desmond Ritter, perfect example. He came out and said he doesn't care about his stats. He doesn't care if he throws 30 passes or 20 passes. As long as his team wins, he'll do whatever it takes for that team to win.
That's the future.
Yeah, but and also to our fantasy owners like myself that drafted Madison in the 5th round, 6th round, I would say everyone is coming at him. Shout out Madison for dealing with very shitty messages. He had like 80 plus DMs that he was sharing where people were calling him the N word, a whole bunch of other racial slurs, and telling him basically if you fumble, like go back, just go look for yourself. It's not hard to find, and shit, like I know I had my frustrations with him because I drafted him expecting him to be a great running back like he was when Dalvin Cook was around, and he hasn't yet. But I mean, he played the Bucks and the Eagles. In the Bucks week one, they looked like a great defense, and the Eagles, they're still a great defense. So, like, just pump your brakes on like, oh, the run game is broken.
Yeah, but this week 2 is gonna be lit. I mean, you got to get to the games in a second. One thing I do want to bring up, you seen the boys just pushing to get the grass fields back after what happened to Aaron Rodgers.
I saw them pushing for the grass fields, but I also saw the person that I someone broke it down good. It was a former team doctor that's now doing his own thing, and he's on Twitter a lot. And he was the one that actually called the Achilles tear on Twitter before anybody else because he's a doctor and he saw the things you need to see. And he explained it well, where he was like, he goes, yeah, he goes, first off, I'm pro grass. I think everything should be on grass, but that wasn't the primary reason on the Achilles tear. Primary reason was the way he got tackled with blah 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 on his back and the way his leg was. So second reason is the fact that Aaron Rodgers is 39 years old. And then he goes, the third reason probably would be the fact that it's turf. But it's not the primary reason. It's one of the reasons, but it's not the only sole reason why that happened. So I was like, oh, I mean, he broke it down better than me than I did just now in like 30 seconds. So it made sense. And I mean, I'm still pro grass, but I do agree that probably isn't that's not the fucking only reason why Aaron Rodgers tore the Achilles.
No, that's real. How about have you
Because
ever played on turf before?
J.K. Dobbins tore his on grass, and Jack Cochran tore his ACL on grass, and those are the other two major injuries in Week 1.
Have you ever played on turf before, like in the middle of the day?
I played around, but I never really played like a real game, but like going on like a turf field, fucking around type shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I say like
yeah,
even if it's fucking around on a turf field, you feel that shit. Like,
you feel the stop. Like there's no give. Like it is your foot
and
hit,
it's like
your foot's there.
and it's like a crazy weird heat. That shit used to melt my own tape on my own cleats. Like that shit used to be so interesting. I was like, I would never have guessed that. Like, I remember having my first turf game thinking like, yo, what the fuck? Why are my feet burning?
Uh,
But on to the slate game. What game
it's
you want to talk?
it
What game you
started
want
at
to
the
talk about?
1 o'clocks. Bills 8-point favorite at home against the Raiders, who are 1-0. Does Josh Allen get his shit right, or does the Raiders are they like the underdog story? Or did people count out Jimmy G and this offense way too early like we did?
I
I know
picked the Bills.
Jacoby Myers is on concussion protocol, so he might not play.
I picked the Bills to win this division. I picked the Bills to win that game on Monday. Josh Allen looked horrible, but that is a great Jets defense. I think Josh Allen is gonna look still gonna have turnovers, but he's gonna have a dominant performance that nobody remembers it. So I'll definitely taking the Bills on this one. But this will be a good chance to see if the Raiders are actually legit, or if they just got a good W just against not Broncos. Was it the Broncos last week?
Yes.
Against the Broncos last week.
Uh, I agree. I think this might be a Bills blowout. I think 8 points represents it well. Even if there's a couple turnovers, I think like the Bills are a team, especially in regular season. If they go up against a bad team, they blow them out. We only really see them struggle when it goes up against great defenses, which the Raiders just unfortunately do not have. What they do have though is Devontae Adams, who wasn't even the lead target getter on his team week 1. That was Jacoby Myers, who got 11 targets, 2 touchdowns, and had a great game. Jacoby Myers concussion protocol, he probably not playing. So for all my bettors out there, first prop of the show, Devontae Adams over 5.5 catches. I think this is I mean, he didn't eat week 1. He gets it right in week 2, especially if they're losing a lot in the Bills. We could see Jimmy G actually throwing for like 30, 35 passes.
We'll see. Hey, but I'm not gonna lie. I don't think McDaniels is the option. Is the right direction to go in for these Raiders team. But we'll see what they do.
Let's see. I'm currently first place in their division. Only team in there with a win right now. Next game on the slate, divisional game. The Bengals are 3-point favorites against the Ravens. Bengals still looking for their first win, whereas the Ravens are super duper banged up right now. They're gonna be without Tyler Lindenbaum, the center, gonna be out without their left tackle Ronnie Staley. Of course, we know about J.K. Dobbins. Marlon Humphrey probably won't be able to suit up, and there's the other Marcus Williams, the safety, probably won't be able to suit up. So there's big injuries on the Ravens side, and for that reason alone, I don't even think Joe Burrow is going to have 500 yards against the Ravens like he always does. I think that's like maybe he does. I mean, he just keeps doing it. But I just think there's just way too many injuries where I think the Ravens are going to suffer the offensive line against Trey Henderson and Hubbard. I think they're going to get to Lamar a lot. They're still going to be trying to figure out that offensive scheme because they didn't look good against the Texans, even though they scored points. I think the Bengals win here. And I like the Bengals pretty big here. I think this might be one of the, but I don't think it's gonna be a Burrow 500-yard game. I think it might be like 28-10 in favor of the Bengals.
I can fuck with that. I think this is one of those games where Vegas is gonna catch the sleeping ass motherfuckers, the motherfuckers that didn't check the injury report. They just saw the Ravens, underdogs, after winning last week against the Texans. What?
And the
Free
Bengals
money.
stunk.
Bengals didn't ain't do shit. Free money. Free money. And then you're gonna realize Joe Burrow always has at least a 300-yard game against the Bengals. But that is interesting. Because I don't think this O line is gonna do any better with all these injuries.
No,
So we'll see. And they're saying Joe Burrow is still looking a little like no, saying not hurt, but he still got a little limp in his step. So if he's not mobile, or if he's not mobile, can even move like he usually can attempt to, that is a big deal. So that could be the decider right there. But I don't think this Ravens team looked great last week. I think if it was any other team except the Texans, maybe it would have been a much closer game. But we'll see. I don't see but the Bengals did start off 0-2 last year, and they started off 0-2 the year before. Like Bengals love losing these first. No, I'm lying. They beat the Vikings in that first game 2 years ago. But the Bengals love losing. The Bengals love losing and starting off slow. So I could see this game going either way. It all depends on what Joe Burrow shows up. But I'm gonna match you on that pick with the Bengals because I'm really expecting this defense to feel a little fired up after letting Deshaun Watson score on them twice.
yeah, and because I think it's going to be a game out of reach, and that's because I've been a believer that he's wide receiver one on this team, even with Odell there. Zay Flowers over 3.5 catches. I think Lamar's going to have to throw it a lot. And Zay Flowers, I mean, he's special. I mean, he's going to be 1,000-yard receiver as a rookie. I said wide receiver one over Odell, and he showed it week one.
You are pretty high on that boy.
Next game, we got a 3.5 point game here where the Jaguars are 3.5 point underdogs at home against the Chiefs, who Chris Jones is back. He's on the team. He signed his contract. He's in the building. He will play. And on the other side, Jaguars, they're I think that this is the team that lost to the Chiefs. Yeah, they lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs last year. Very close game. And this was a hurt Mahomes last year too on one ankle. How do we feel about this one, Kev? Do you think the Jaguars get it done at home? Are they here to show the world that they are part of that upper echelon? Are they going to pull the Lions?
I don't know. I think this is a game set up for the Jaguars to do that. But I don't see their defense. This is a game that can go either or. But Travis Kelce is playing. And I think that's the biggest decision maker. If Travis Kelce wasn't going to play, I would have been like, I don't know. Their receivers really didn't look like they were the greatest. But you got Travis Kelce playing, and you got Chris Jones coming back. So that's a whole bunch of film that you didn't have last week. I think you kind of got to like, even though it looks really promising to take the Jaguars, especially after Travis Etienne turned up in game one. I don't know. I think this Chiefs is going to be is gonna be because they say if the Chiefs lose, they're gonna be the first. They're gonna be the first team I think since the 1950s to go start 0-2. The first.
Super Bowl winner.
Mm-hmm. I could be wrong, or maybe 50 years. I could be wrong, but it's been a while since the Super Bowl winner started 0-2.
I'm gonna rock with the Jaguars here at home. Mainly just because I think they have the weapons. Last year they didn't have Calvin Ridley, and I thought we were gonna have to wait a little bit before Calvin Ridley got really back to his own. But he showcased that like week one, he was ready. Like he's been working off the field by himself, keeping in shape. He didn't. He looked just as good as he was whenever he was the number one receiver 2 or 3 years ago, and I just see even with Chris Jones back. Chris Jones was thought to be back before the season even started, and I still didn't like the Chiefs' defense. The Chiefs' defense looked really bad, and I'm gonna go against them here mainly because I can see Trevor Lawrence and them matching them for points, and I don't think yes, we got Travis Kelce back, but I don't think Travis Kelce being back is gonna solve all the problems we saw on the Chiefs' offense. It's gonna help a lot, but I don't think it's gonna solve all the issues. And I like the Jaguars to like keep it up with a lot of points. I think they're gonna match them touchdown for touchdown, and we're gonna see a big game out of both offenses. But I'm gonna take the home dog here in the Jags.
I'm glad that we're split on this one because I really see Travis Kelce maybe not being an immediate turn up monster, but I do see him taking a lot of attention away from others. You still got to pay attention to Travis Kelce crazy. Then I think that's going to be the difference. And the same thing on defense was Chris Jones. I really feel like not having that film from them last week is going to make the difference.
And my prop for this game is Christian Kirk over 3.5 catches. He didn't really do anything last game, but the coaches came out specifically and said that Christian Kirk is going to eat this Sunday because the Chiefs love to run man coverage, and Christian Kirk is the man killer. So I like Christian Kirk over 3.5 catches. I think he bounces back this week.
Nice.
Next game, the Titans are 2.5-point underdogs at home against the Chargers. Chargers, it looks like Eckler is not going to play. He's doubtful. Joshua Kelly would get the start, but Joshua Kelly looked great against us, against the Dolphins. He had like 17 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown against us. And then on the other side, the Titans probably will be without D-Hop. D-Hop is out for the game, so that's going to be a big blow for Tennessee. 2.5-point underdogs right now. How do you feel, Kev? Do you think they get it done at home, or do you think the Chargers are just going to be way too much?
This Chargers defense can give up a lot of points. And that's what scares me for this game. But if it wasn't for that, I would tell you to raise this limit to 5. Because I really see this. After this Chargers team had that shootout with y'all last week, I'm thinking that they can really put up points. But his defense might fuck around and let the Titans put up at least 24. And I'm going to be looking like, how? How'd y'all do that?
How did you do that?
How did y'all do that? So that's why I'm going to still take the Chargers. But that defense is really going to have my ass thinking like, bro, what the fuck?
So this,
no, you could go.
as I said, this is actually one of my locks is the Titans plus 2.5. And I will tell people I am too. Wait, because the D-Hop news just broke like as of an hour before this recording. So that line probably may move maybe 3.5, where you can at least get that field goal to save your ass. And the main thought being, what have I been saying for almost 2 years now, Kev? Like they can't stop the run. And who's the king of the AFC South? It's Derrick Henry. I know it's not Derek Simber right now, but I just think that he's going to get probably 30 carries, and then we might see a couple read options with Tannehill, maybe a fake on the goal line. Tannehill takes it in himself. You know, he loves doing that. And Treylon Burks is going to be back for this game. I'm not sure if he played week 1. And I think that, like you said, the Chargers defense is that bad.
Mm-hmm. I'll be watching Derrick Henry run all over them like, how are you letting this happen right now? You know they're not going to give it to nobody else.
Nobody else. Then next game on the slate is going to be the Falcons, our 1.5-point favorite against the Packers, Kev. Packers are banged up. Romeo Dobbs questionable to play. Christian Watson's not going to play still. Aaron Jones is out for the game. The offense is kind of riddled right now. How do you feel about that, Kev? Oh, and Cordell Patterson will be back for week 2.
Didn't even notice he wasn't there week 1. But I'm excited for this game. I came into this game not knowing about the injuries. I knew I had a feeling Aaron Jones wasn't going to play. But when I checked the injury report, and I was like, oh my gosh, all the hitters is gone. That's like pulling up. That's like pulling up to a fade with all your homies from the chess club. Knowing that you're an MMA fighter, but you chose to go to the chess club and be like, hey man, I need some help. Like,
that's like Patrick Mahomes pulling up with Kadarius Toney.
Disrespectful. But you can say that. No, Kelsey. But yeah, I'm excited. I want to see what this offense can do. I want to see if we can open up a little bit more. But it's gonna be tough because you do got Jair Alexander out there. That's a problem. I'm a firm believer in just don't throw it. Wherever he's at, just don't throw it. Easiest way to get him out the game. Just don't throw it. And so we want to see, but I want to see Jesse Bates. I want to see our defense turn up again. I really want to see. I don't check. Is Aluakon playing? Not Aluakon.
Akuda is questionable, so he's not ruled out just yet. He was supposed to miss like half the season, so the fact that he's even 50-50 to go week 2 is insane.
Yeah, and that boy built different. But I want to see our offense turn up more. I want to see a little bit more in the pass play, and I want to see us run all over this bitch again. I can't wait to play the Chargers.
Yeah, I think as long as they don't try to force shit with Cordell Patterson, if they just stick with Travis Algier, use Patterson sparingly like they did, and like get him big plays, chunk plays, and then unleash Bijan. Like as long as they run the Arthur Smith offense, I like y'all as a small favorite here. And my only prop is Luke Musgrave, the tight end for the Packers, rookie tight end. Nice stash. His ass is going to go over 33.5 receiving yards just because he has to throw that bitch to someone, somewhere. And it's going to be the tight end probably. He'd like to throw to him week 1, too.
Yeah, I feel like there's a way you can make Cordell Patterson work in the system. I think like if you have Tyler Algier as the main feature back. You got Cordell Patterson as the next back, and then you have Bijan Robinson as the slot back.
They're gonna be running the wing tip offense, bro. It's gonna be in the pistol formation. Wing tip is gonna be Desmond. To his left is gonna be Algier. To his right is gonna be Bijan, and to his back is gonna be Cordell. And you're gonna be running like Navy type offense from college football. It's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be real old school.
Now we just gotta play defense in this motherfucker.
Next game, Detroit 4.5 favorites against the Seahawks. Everyone's favorite team right now, Detroit Lions 4.5 favorites. I'm rocking with the Lions here. I think it's just the battle of O-lines. Seahawks will probably be out without Charles Cross, their first round left tackle from last year. He might be missing this game. And if the Lions D-line plays anything like they did last week, that's going to be a problem for Geno. And that's going to be a problem for the run game. I think they're going to get I think the defense is going to turn up on the Seahawks. Seahawks look rough against the Rams last week because they were able to get a pass rush going. And that's what I think Lions will do. And on the flip side, Bobby Wagner is old as fuck, and I know he had like 15 tackles and he did his thing, but that offensive line for the Lions is going to get the job done.
Yeah, I respect it. I agree with you on that one. I really am a firm believer in this defensive line by the Lions. The way we saw them rushing back there against the Chiefs, them boys are a problem. They're hyped up right now. Dan Campbell got them motivated. The Lions, I'm not expecting them to dog walk the Saints or not the Seahawks or nothing, but like I do expect the Lions to win very comfortably.
Yeah, that's one of my best bets is Lions minus 4.5. Give me that. And one of my prop bets is Kenneth Walker under 61.5 rushing yards. And that D line for the Lions is going to get shit locked down. And then they're going to be down by a lot, and they're not going to be running the ball. AFC South divisional game. Both teams started off 0-1. Someone's going to get a first win of the season. Both led by rookie quarterbacks. The Colts are going to Houston to take on C.J. Stroud and the Texans. Houston is a 1 point favorite right now. Colts are
Wow.
so you're on the same boat as me. One of my locks is give me the Colts +1. Give me I like the Colts as an underdog here. Divisional
That's a
game.
trap game, Paul.
No, but the Texans, their defense look great, but I also think it's more of this Lamar doesn't know the system because there's a new offensive coordinator. I just don't think the Ravens are in that going full speed yet, and I just think that for Anthony Richardson looked like a guy. He looked like a guy. He looked like Derrick Henry was throwing the ball back here.
Bro, he looks like that in person too. That shit is crazy.
Big as shit, bro. When he took the running touchdown and the linebacker met him in the middle to stop him, there was no shot. Like there was no shot. And I just think Anthony Richardson, he looked a lot better passing the ball than I even expected. And other than that one turnover pass, I know, but I just think eye test wise, he's the better quarterback here. I did not think CJ Stroud looked good at all. And I don't think the Texans offense looked good at all. Whereas the Colts offense at least has a spark to it.
Hell yeah. I definitely got the Colts on this one. But I would love for this Colts defense to look as good as they did in week one, creating turnovers, staying busy.
Yeah. I mean, +1, you even get it if they happen to miss a field goal and you lose on some bullshit.
No, that shit is crazy.
Then next game, Bucks are 2.5 point favorite against the Bears. And Kev, I don't know who you're gonna pick here because I know you hate the Bucks, but we both saw what the fuck the Bears put onto the field last week.
But you know, I'd never pick the Bucks a day in life unless it's the playoffs. That's a little different.
But really,
That's
you're
what
gonna
it
rock with
does.
Justin Field? You're gonna rock with the Bears?
Rock with the Bears. Should I go put a jersey on? I believe the Aaronville Bears are the truth
You
at the
lying through
moment.
your teeth.
At the moment, the Aaronville Bears have fight. The Aaronville Bears have heart, and they stand for Aaronville. So I'm taking the AB Bears.
But the Bears remind me of the Colts last year when Matt Ryan, all the preseason hype out. Matt Ryan's a leader. The Colts got all this and that, and then they went out week one and it stunk up the joint, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is the Colts?" I think the Bears were so overhyped, and it showed. They did not look ready. They did not look like a good offense. A fucking even worse defense. And the story I heard about Baker with the Vikings game, Ricard White said that we went back into the halftime locker room and we're all talking, and then Baker just comes in there and is like, "I got the signals. I know, like when they run cover three, they're gonna do this. When they run cover two, they're gonna do this. When they're gonna do man, when they do drop, they're gonna do this." And then you see the Bucks second half offense look way better. And I'm not Baker shocked me with that one, and like the fact he was able to find out, read the defensive coordinator and the signals from on the field and look over, because usually that's someone's job on the sideline. So maybe we really did discount this Bucks team, and I really discounted that defense, and I just think the defense is the deciding factor in this game. I think the Bears offense will struggle against that front seven for the Bucks, and Khalil Herbert will go under 43.5 rushing yards. That's my one prop for this game.
I have nothing but faith in my Aaronville Bears.
Then our next game, I'm happy we're split on a few now. We have the Cardinals, 4 point underdog at home against the Giants. Both teams looking for their first win here. Giants coming off their 40-point L, and big questionable right now. Andrew Thomas, left tackle, star left tackle. He's up in the air, 50-50 chance that he'll play for this game.
Say that one more time. Who are we talking about?
Andrew Thomas, star left tackle for the Giants. He's 50-50 to play for this game.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel? Do you think the Cardinals still got fight in them, or do you think they just got it for 1 week?
Oh fuck no, the Cardinals. I think the Giants got fucked up, like smoke to the highest degree. The best
Like
they
this?
put they put them yeah, they put them boys up in the finest of packs and put the boys up early, got them out of there early. So I definitely don't believe in the Giants, but I'm taking the Giants over the Cardinals because Josh Dobson, He looked straight. He played some round. He played some good. He played some good series. But I think that was that. I think that was the get up game, and the get up game they couldn't win. So I'm definitely not taking them over this Giants team. I'm just hoping them boys figure something the fuck out because they did absolutely nothing against the Cowboys last week.
A difference of defenses here. Cardinals' run defense is so poor, so bad. And Saquon Barkley, I think this is my super lock. First super lock of the season. Give me the Giants -4. I really, really, really like this spread just because Saquon Barkley will get like 30 touches and he may go off for like 160 yards, 170 yards. My prop bet, Saquon Barkley over, and this number is comedic low to me, is like 67 or 62. I think it's 62 and a half. Saquon Barkley over 62 and a half rushing yards. Saquon Barkley to score a touchdown plus 105. I I I think we see a big run game out of the Giants here, and they destroyed the Cardinals. Cardinals got up last week. They fumbled the ball to set up the game-losing field goal, and I think that completely deflated the team. I think they don't get up to that.
It was like, bro, I literally did my job. How the fuck did y'all fumble this?
Like they tried their hardest, and then they lose on a fumble field goal, and it's just like, fuck it, pack up the season. We're fucking done.
Them boys in that bitch talking about some, bro. I'm just here for my incentives.
Yeah. Divisional game here. Sean McVay and the 1-0 Rams are going to take on the 49ers coming to town. 49ers are a 7-point favorite on the road, and Sean McVay in the Rams house. I don't know how to really, I mean, Shanahan does not beat Pete Carroll, and Pete Carroll does not beat McVay, and McVay does not beat Shanahan. And that's as simple as I need to know. And just look at the week 1 performances. 49ers look like a team that's already in like playoff mode. Whereas the Rams, they look great. Don't get me wrong. They shocked everybody. But this ain't no Seattle Seahawks squad. This is Christian McCaffrey and the fucking 49ers with Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, who keep your eyes on, and then Debo. Like, who would have thought that they might arguably have like a top 5 wide receiver group with Debo and Ayuk? That boy Kev. I mean,
Yeah,
Christian McCaffrey. You can't even think he fucking run. He be out there at slot sometimes.
I said, I'm when we were covering. I said, yo, I'm very high on this team, very high on these receivers. I just don't know what Brock Purdy's gonna do. So last week showed us. I even drafted Brandon Ayuk on fantasy. I was like, yo, I'm crazy high on these dudes. Last week showed that they still have that smoothest brother. This is probably one of the better quarterbacks that Kyle Shanahan's had in a while. On top of having the best running back he's ever had. On top of turning motherfucking Debo, Brandon Ayuk, and his entire offense into monsters. So this offense matching with this defense that they paid so much money. The real 5-star A-class defense. I think they're going to be running through motherfuckers all season. I'm not going to lie to you. And this is just another one on the test. Shout out the Lions for looking. I mean the Lions. Shout out the Rams for looking good. Good week 1. Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, they look straight. They even had Tutu Atwell scoring.
But and Puka, rookie Puka had like 11 catches for like 100-something yards.
Gangster. Shout out them boys, but nah, they not doing shit.
Yeah, I mean, I love a home dog, but I mean, 49ers just look primed. They look like a team that's on a mission right now.
They look like they're on
Adderall. Next game, Cowboys versus Jets, led by Zach Wilson. Both teams 1-0 right now. The Cowboys are 8.5-point favorite, and I know the Jets got a win, and Zach Wilson found Garrett Wilson somehow, some way for a touchdown, but that offensive line was already shit. And now it's going to go up against that defensive line from the Cowboys. I mean, 8.5 points makes sense to me. And it's mainly, I think they could beat them by 8.5 with just the defense out there. And so just give me that. There's going to be a Zach Wilson looking like at least 2 or 3 turnovers this game, or maybe a fumble, like sack, fumble, touchdown. I think I could see the Cowboys defense scoring a touchdown here too.
Nah, 100%. This is just going to be another one of those games where the Cowboys got to show y'all early that y'all not supposed to be in this motherfucker with us. They only playing their best players, using their best players. They ain't fucking off. So yeah, I definitely see the Cowboys winning this bitch by like 20.
There is always, I will say, it is open though that like the Jets defense is still legit, and
Oh, I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm
we could
like
see
that.
a Dak, we could see a shitty Dak performance too. So that's not off the table. And if that does happen, then we're like, then we will know for sure. Oh, this is the same old Cowboys.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. If it goes down like that, I will eat my words. But at the moment, I'm thinking like, okay, this Cowboys team is getting everybody that's not supposed to be with them up out of there. So this is another team that's not supposed to be with them.
Yeah. If there's Aaron Rodgers, we might be talking a little different. And I might go out on a limb. I don't think it'll happen, but I would love to see it if the Cowboys could leave the whole state of New York holding the 0 points.
Mm.
Then let's jump to our Sunday, the last 4 o'clock game on Sunday. The Broncos are 3.5 point favorite against the Commanders here. Broncos still looking for their first win. It's gonna be Sam Howell and the Commanders. Do you think they get a win here on the road, or do you think the Broncos find their first win of the season?
I think Sean Payton is a ballsy motherfucker. I'm still shook at the fact that he went for that onside kick to start off his fucking 10 years of Bronco.
Gangster.
That was pretty fucking dope. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I'm trusting this Broncos team. I forgot to check to see how great their defense did last week, but I'm trusting this Broncos team. I mean, I don't want to say I like the offense, but I will say they didn't do terrible. They just lost.
They just lost. That's all.
That's how I look at them. They just lost. Let's get them one. Let's get them win this week. I don't, and I'm also like very high on the idea that there's not going to be a lot of 0-2 guys after this.
Yeah, and I think the Broncos have a great defense still. And I just, like I said in week one and in the preseason, Sam Howell, I think, is ass at quarterback. I didn't trust in him coming out of college. And I think he's only going to show more as the season progresses.
Didn't they get Will Levis?
No, that the Titans got Will Levis.
Ooh, why did
But
they got Will Levis?
with this game, I will say I do have a prop. It's Brian Robinson Jr. I don't think he's a good running back. I love his story about getting shot and coming back, but he does not look like a great running back since he's been on the team. And I got him under 55.5 rushing yards. I think the Broncos still have a great rush defense. And I forgot to hit on this one. It was Christian McCaffrey over his rushing yard over under is 67.5. I got the over 67.5. Like
He did
this,
that on one play last week.
it's fucking Christian McCaffrey. Like Derrick Henry's number is set at like 80. At least give CMC the same respect and put that bitch at 80.
They're not expecting him to play the whole game.
I mean, they said that week one against a much worse Steelers, and his ass was still out there in the fourth quarter. He had like 22 touches.
Mm.
But next game, we're both on the Broncos there. Our next game, Saints, not Saints, Sunday Night Football, where my Miami Dolphins are going up to Foxborough to take on Mac Jones and the Patriots, who are looking for their first win of the season. Dolphins, 3 point favorite on the road. I'm going to open it up with no one can. I mean, if anyone can stop this offense, it would be a Bill Belichick led defense. He knows how to do things that some people don't know how to do, but I don't believe in it. I do think we see this great performance all from the passing game. This might not be the Tyreek Hill. I think even when it's not a Tyreek Hill game, Tyreek Hill still gets 80 to 90 yards. This, I think, will be the Waddle game. This will be the Craycraft game. Because why? Bill Belichick knows how to take away certain guy, like your number one guy. So I think Tyreek Hill doesn't go off again, but we'll see when that happens. We'll see Waddle up the middle for some big 40-yard passes. We'll see them unleash the Waddle. And maybe I'm not holding my breath for the running game, but I will say I hope to see this defense look so much better because this ain't the Chargers. This is the Patriots. But this was a Patriots team that looked great against the Eagles defense second half. So this is a weird game to kind of handicap, but Tua has never lost to Bill Belichick. 4-0 or 5-0. I'm riding the train, baby.
He's 4-0 in his last four. So he's 4-0 against Bill Belichick. So I think he is going to go 5-0 just because of how dominant this team looked. And they had a close game against Eagles team that didn't look great.
No, not at
So
all.
I'm not mad at the Patriots. I'm not saying they ain't shit. They definitely showed promise and definitely had people thinking like, oh, these dogs are still barking. But nah, this Dolphin team is just something. Yeah, once y'all haven't been figured out yet. And I think Bill probably has 100 and a half different ways to try to stop y'all. But at the end of the day, speed kills. You can't beat that. Like you said, speed kills. You've been screaming that since before they even had Tyreek. Speed kills, and I think this team is very speedy.
And that's my last best bet will be the Dolphins -3. Get it now. And I got two props, two over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think he's an elite guy. That's always on the table. Two touchdowns with this offense. It's always almost a given. And then Tyreek Hill, longest catch over 26.5 yards. When Tyreek Hill catches the ball, it's usually not a shorter than 20 yards or 26 yards. Then our next game, we move on to our dual premiere Monday night games. Divisional game that you know really well, Kev. Panthers are at home where they're a 3-point underdog against the Saints. JC Horn is placed on IR, so there will be no JC Horn for 4 weeks from
Damn,
now.
damn.
CJ Henderson's still out there. I forget their other corner, but he's not bad either. But we got the Saints 3-point favorite on the road right here, Kev. What's team do you think? I mean, you know both these teams really well. What's team do you think is going to come in and show out?
I mean, I think the Saints didn't look bad last week with Derek Carr. Derek Carr, I think it was like third or fourth in passing yards last week. I just feel like they didn't score enough. I mean, if the Saints could come in and get their running game together the same way the Falcons got the running game against them going, they could definitely be a problem in this fight in this game. And I think Marshawn Lattimore versus a rookie quarterback, that Saints defense versus a rookie quarterback is going to be the thing that kind of overpresses them. So if they come in and play great defense and motherfucking run that bitch, oh, I could see them winning this by 2 scores.
Yeah, I'm rocking with the Saints here. Their defense looked great. Their offense is going to have to show a little bit more. Um, I do think though this is not going to be a running game just because I think both defenses have a really good run defense. So I actually took under on both the running backs. Miles Sanders under 58.5 rushing yards and Jamal Williams under 52.5 rushing yards. I also took under on Jamal Williams because I think the rookie on the Saints is going to be playing, and Jamal Williams had a fumble last week, so he might be in the doghouse for a little bit. But Saints, like their offense is so. Oh, and my last prop was Derek Carr over 1.5 touchdowns, passing touchdowns. Just because the Panthers without J.C. Horn, that was when Mike Evans had a 200-yard game. C.J. Henderson loves to give up big plays. I think Olave over the top is going to be not wide open, but we'll see a couple of deep shots here or there. Just because without J.C. Horn, that tends to be their biggest Achilles heel. So yeah, Saints on the road. And I love Bryce Young, but he did look bad last week.
Against my defense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is another really tough defense, another divisional, the divisional game, the defenses this go are on steroids. So this is gonna be it might be kind of tough for Bryce Young these first couple of weeks. Then we have our last game on the slate, Kev. The Steelers are at home where they're a 2.5-point underdog against the Browns. Steelers still looking for their first win. Deontay Johnson, as everyone knows, got the hammy injury. He's definitely not going to be playing. But, I mean, do you think the Browns? I mean, people are big on the Browns right now. 1-0? Are you kind of bought in?
I mean, they beat the shit out of the Bengals. Shout out them. Am I bought in? No. But they did beat the shit out of the Bengals. Shout out them. I mean, you think it's crazy because Christian McCaffrey ran all over them boys. He had like 150, 160, right?
Yep.
22 carries, ran all over them boys. So you're questioning the run defense. And now we got to deal with Nick Chubb. So we're questioning the run defense. We're questioning Kenny Pickett and how can they put up buckets, put up scores. We're questioning is Deshaun Watson actually can Deshaun Watson actually come in his own, and she just really just like the almost overpaid motherfucker ever. So these are things. There are a lot of questions in this game for me. I love TJ Watt. I love that defense with Minka Fitzpatrick's, but they need to be physical. They need to be aggressive, and they need to get back there. And I'm not sure if they can do that. Well, if they're gonna do that, like if that's gonna be they're gonna do it enough to win the game. Because this offense, I don't know if Deontay Johnson. I don't know if this offense has it. Najee Harris. What Najee do last week?
He didn't do nothing, but he also couldn't do much after they're down by like 20 by halftime. George Pickens and Allen Robinson Allen Robinson went from the guy that people forgot about to at week one. He had like 6 catches for like 80 yards. He was wide receiver one for the Steelers, which was kind of shocking. But Kenny Pickett didn't look too great either. The defense was getting tore up, but I think I'm going to lean more towards that's just the 49ers offense being a well-oiled machine. And I'm going to believe in the Steelers at home here. They usually own the Browns. I know that trend has kind of changed in recent years when Baker and them were winning and Big Ben was getting old. But I think it also just a mental thing. I think they'll always just be the little brother in the division to the Steelers. And it's the fact that Jack Conklin is not going to play. He's out for the season for the Browns offensive line. I think that's a huge blow to the offensive line where TJ Watt had 3 sacks to start the year, week one. I think we see another multi-sack game for TJ Watt. And I think that's going to be their victory right here. Says their defense is going to get to Watson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can trust it. I mean, I want to take this Browns team because I do feel like Nick Chubb could have a really good game. But I agree with you. This defense needs to get back there, and I think they stay pressured. They keep this motherfucking. And I feel like they got up for that last game last week. I don't know if they're getting up for this game again. So I do have the Steelers as well in this bitch, and I'm praying Kenny Pickett has a good game.
Yeah, and I'm taking my one prop and last prop for the show is going to be Deshaun Watson under 1.5 passing touchdowns. He just is not there. He is a little more mobile than I remember, but I think he's more mobile because of the fact that he's not able to throw it anymore like he once was.
Yeah, that boy Paul came at Deshaun hard.
How he likes it. But we do gotta get up and out of here, my boy Kev. Do you have do you have any last thoughts or anything you want to say before we dip out on the week 2 picks?
Man, watch my motherfucking Falcons get this dub and we start this bitch off 2-0.
All right. And my last thing I'll say, don't forget, this is the first I gave out 5 best bets, and don't forget, I gave out a super lock. Giants -4 here. Go cash it in with me this weekend, boys. And parlay that money line pick with Saquon Barkley and a touchdown. And Saquon Barkley touchdown. I think he gets it done. Oh, almost forgot, Kev. We got to do everyone's favorite segment real quick. Our 2 locks and a dog. And you got to redeem yourself, my boy, because you definitely didn't do too hot last week.
It happens.
It happens. And as always, I'm going to hand it to you, Kev. Make your locks first.
For my locks, I'm not too like crazy up on a lot of games this week, but I will take these Lions versus Seahawks because I do feel like these Seahawks are gonna try to fight back, but these Lions are gonna just keep putting it on them, and that D line is gonna get back there. Then I gotta steal your Dolphins. The Dolphins versus the Patriots. I like
Good
Tua.
pick.
I want to
Good pick.
Tua plays the whole game. I like them to do that. Keep his winning streak against Bill Belichick going. So that'd be pretty lit. And for my dog, I got to take my boy AR. That boy Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Definitely want to see them boys make something shake. And I feel like they played a great game for a lot of quarters, not the entire game, but for a lot of quarters last week. So I'd love to see them just turn it up a little notch and really finish it out strong.
All right. I like the Colts. I like the Dolphins pick, and I like this Lions pick. For my 2 locks, I'm going to go the Bengals over the Ravens. Just because all the injuries to the Ravens O-line and their defense, and the Bengals, they're still a little shaken up because Joe Burrow hasn't practiced. He wasn't in preseason. He wasn't in training camp. But this is the team he usually owns, and I just think that they'll own him here again. And there's the big blows to the offensive lines. That defense for the Bengals is going to get to Lamar. Next lock is my super lock. I'm just going to go with it as always. Giants to beat the Cardinals. I think it's given to you on a silver platter. I love the spread. The Cardinals suck against the run, and that's what they're going to do with Saquon Barkley. And then Danny Dimes going to get a little loose with it. Darren Waller hasn't yet to be showcased as this number one guy. I think this is going to be the game where we're looking at the Giants put up a lot of points. Then for my one dog of the weekend, it will probably have to be. I'm gonna go with. Ooh, do I want to get a little ugly with it? Do I want to wait? Going with the Steelers. The Steelers
Ooh.
defense at home. They own the Browns. Deshaun Watson. I'm super low on him. I don't want to. I'm not gonna overthink it. I don't believe in Watson. I think he's a bad quarterback. Jack Conklin is not gonna play for the rest of the year. We'll see the first game without an All-Pro lineman, and it's not gonna look too pretty when T.J. Watt's the person lining up against them against the O line. So multi-sack game from TJ Watt, probably interception. Add that to the props. Deshaun Watson over a half an interception. And I just think we see the Steelers defense win this game for the Pittsburgh.
All of Pittsburgh. They're
All
gonna do it.
Pittsburgh.
They're gonna do it for the pit.
For the pit. But we got to get the fuck up out of here. As always, go down, like and subscribe. Comment your picks, your locks, your bets. We're here to listen to them. And your thoughts. Don't forget your thoughts on the Thursday night football game where we saw the Eagles go 2-0 and get this second win, and Vikings go 0-2. As always, I'm Paul, pick 'em win 'em Contra, the betting gambler himself, and I'm joined with Kevin Waterboy Savoy. And if y'all didn't know, well, now y'all know, motherfuckers.